everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. My name is Cindy. I'm at Simply Cindy. I am a medium. I'm a psychic medium. I have lots of tools in my bag. I love astrology. Please forgive my voice. I've had laryngitis. I'm getting over that. Um, it's kind of what I was doing before I came on here, was just drinking some tea and some honey. So welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the full moon. And the full moon is in Aquarius, which we all know. Aquarius does not do things normal. So, of course, this is not a normal full moon. We've got lots of things going on around the world. And so I just kind of want to go over some of that with you. Um, let's talk about this full moon in Aquarius. Okay, so the full moon, so we've had a lot of stuff going on. I've got lots of videos out. I've been doing lives for the last 2-3 weeks where I'm explaining a lot of things. Um, we've had not just with Pluto, but with Jupiter, with Mars, with Uranus, Neptune, Saturn. Like it's so crazy how I know you hear that from astrologers where they're like, oh, this is gonna be a crazy month, or this is gonna be a big month, but this really August is really, there's so much happening that it's so hard for us to like try to get it all in one video. I know a lot of astrologers are having that problem too. Is like they're used to doing, a certain amount of videos per month, and they're having to do a lot because of how crazy the aspects are and the way that the planets are talking to us. And in society, you can see it. You can see how things are changing. We're in Aquarius energy, so things are changing, right? Pluto and Aquarius. I have a Pluto series. I have not finished it, but I have a Pluto series, and you can check that out. It'll explain a lot of the next 20 years that we're going to in this cycle, because astrology is about cycles, and you can look back into history to kind of see where we're at. It won't happen the same exact way, but sort of the big themes that are coming up. So because we're in Aquarius energy and we know Aquarius is quirky, we know Aquarius has a very unique perspective. Um, and then we happen to have on the 19th this full moon in Aquarius. But as per usual, because Aquarius can't do things normal, we have other things that are going on that exact day as well. Now, my belief, my understanding, my teachings are that energy does not stop and start. So, will it happen all that day? No. It may happen before. And so we're looking at basically from the 17th, maybe even the 14th. Somewhere around there. I would say from that to till like the 24th, maybe, of August is when things are going to be happening. Now, things are already happening, right? So we all know what full moons are, right? So we know that full moons are about letting go. I can hear you well. I was unloading the washing machine. Thank you. Thank you, Alejandra. Oh, and thank you for letting us know about when I was channeling and giving you a prediction. I appreciate that because a lot of people don't know me. I know a lot of you guys have been with me for 10, 15, 20 years, but a lot of you don't know me because the algorithm doesn't know me, so it's pushing me out to different people. So it's really nice that they can actually see what your question was, that I predicted, and then that you got the result. So anyway, thank you so much for sharing. Please keep us updated. Let me get back to this full moon. I'm so sorry. Okay, so full moons are usually about letting go of something, right? About letting go so that we can have the energy to open up the energy so that we can have new phases and new things coming in, right? New things coming in the new moon. And then it kind of goes in a cycle like that. Well, with Aquarius, with us having this Aquarius full moon, it's at a particular degree. So full moon is right here. So Aquarius is the moon, and opposite would be the sun, which is Leo. Now Leo is conjunct, which means they're having a really good conversation over here with Mercury retrograde, right? So that something that you have to say, something that you're not saying correctly, something that you think you should and you haven't said, because we're in retrograde Mercury. Right now we are in retrograde season, right? So there's a lot of planets that are retrograde, and retrogrades are also, so on top of the full moon, we're having the retrogrades too, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to try to take it really, really slow. So on top of the full moon, which is for us to like let go, because a new phase wants to form, because we're trying to like move into a more progressed time in our life, right? The things that we kind of want to manifest, the areas that we want to go through. But then we have the retrogrades coming, or on top of that, which is all those planets are needing you to rethink, readjust, um, reconfigure, reassess. I call it the re's, right? So Mercury retrograde is bringing back around at the 27 degree something that was needing to be said. And I think because the sun is there, it's to help you, because it's Leo, to help you get the credit, to help you um, show your identity, show who you are, because that's Leo, right? And maybe it's that you hadn't been doing that, right? But it's a full moon. So there's the moon over here in Aquarius that's right at 27 degrees. So there's something about your uniqueness, about the way that you see things, about the way that you do things, about, and we're talking about your identity because the opposite is Leo, right? That's where the sun is. So the sun is trying to shine on the moon while also talking to um, Mercury, which is like telling you're processing. Maybe you're trying to understand. So with Mercury retrograde, maybe something has happened with Mercury retrograde because Mercury is about processing also. Maybe it's about you understanding a different way and actually, like some of you I can see like saying, "Oh my God, this has been happening to me so many times, and just now I get it." Like, finally I get it, right? So that's what this Mercury retrograde with the sun, uh, opposite the moon in Aquarius. You're having, it's your unique way that goes probably against society right now, probably against your group, probably against your family. It just kind of depends on where it's at in your chart. That's kind of why I want to look at your guide. Want you to look at your chart. And remember, the story's going to build. Just bear with me because there's so much going on. Now, with that, that's just the full moon that's going to allow you to process, maybe even say, maybe even connect with somebody that you didn't connect with before, like you kind of missed each other, right? Because it's a retrograde. This was trying to happen before, or this was did happen before and you didn't see it. It's something like that. Now, for Leo, it's going to be in your seventh house. So this has to do with relationships, right? So with the full moon, could be that you're growing into a different understanding or maybe a different way in your relationship. Whatever this is, it's a unique perspective of your identity, right? Because yeah, it's the way that you're perceiving because it's the moon. So it's the way that you're perceiving the world. So it could be also if you are standing in the moon and looking out, the sun and Mercury is illuminating something that you're seeing finally in the right way, right? So like Aquarius, it would be in your first house. So it has to do with maybe the way that you're seeing yourself finally, or maybe the way that you thought people thought of you, they don't. And you're seeing that. And it's almost like, oh, they don't think I'm weird. Oh, they're okay with the way that I do things. Oh, like it could be that, right? But it also could be like, oh, I thought I thought they were my friend, or I thought we had a good relationship, or I thought like that could be coming up for you. Where Leo, it has to do with trying to see the right thing to be and to do and to have in relationships. Now, bear with me. I'm just going to go over the houses with this full moon, but we still have the yod and the T square on top of that. All of that is coming about. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, so with Aquarius, it would be in your first house. There is something that you're needing to let go of that has to do with your identity, but also it could be um, like because it's your first house, it could be like you're starting to lift weights, you're starting to work out, you're starting to get focused because it could be losing weight, it could be you're going to be letting go. Maybe you're finally going to get out of your own way about something and process it and understand it better, as in not stopping yourself for doing it because you didn't see it the right way or whatever, right? Um, I can go really deep with Aquarius. I don't want to. But in the second house, that would be Pisces, right? So Pisces, sorry, the next house, the next sign is Pisces. Pisces, you will have this full moon in your 12th house, okay? So you're sensing something. You are Pisces. You do have your other senses open. But if you, and I'm learning about the 12th house even deeper than I know, and I've known the 12th house for a long time, but that's because Pluto personally is going through my 12th house. So, Pisces, there's something that you're having to let go of that you are not seeing clearly. And it could be that you thought that somebody either did something to you or said something about you or put you in a different light, or you saw this wrong. You didn't see it right. You didn't, I won't say you didn't see it right. You didn't see it clearly. Okay. And so this may be the time with this full moon where it may come to you. So it could come to you through your other senses, like your dreams. Um, if you're psychic, which most of y'all are, and I mean developed psychic, um, or it will just come from nowhere because that's your 12th and your 6th. Sorry, guys. That's your 12th and your 6th. So I feel like I think you're finally going to let go of that perception or come to a clarity about what you thought happened or what you thought they did or what you thought you did, or maybe realizing that you did it unnecessarily. Like there's something going on with that letting go. Okay. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, guys. I'm not looking at your writing, so I apologize because I'm channeling. Okay. And then this is for the full moon in Aquarius. Now, what I'm telling you is the area of life, right? So for, and then kind of giving you a little bit of channeling about that area of life. But I'm going to build on that. Okay. So if you guys have your charts, it'll be even better when we get to the building part. Okay. This is going to be a long one. Now, if you're an Aries, this is going to be happening in your 11th house, right? So in your 11th house, um, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, in your 5th. So your 11th and your 5th. So it's basically your 11th house, but your 5th is shining a light on the 11th house, if that makes sense. So, Aries, this has to do with your groups. This has to do with social media. This has to do with technology. This has to do, um, yeah, how you're perceived in groups and how you perceive groups. And am I going to let go of this? Are they still making me happy? Because that's the fifth house. Do I want to create a group, but I got to let go of this thing? Um, that's the 11th house. Am I going to get a new job that has to do with technology, or maybe has to do with social media, or maybe has to do with the internet? But to get this job, I'm going to have to let go of this other thing, right? So this is coming back around to you. Um, and it could be like you felt like it was a missed opportunity because of that Mercury retrograde with the sun. Okay. So um, that's for Aries. For Taurus, this is going to be happening in your 10th house. Now, your 10th house is your reputation, it's how you are perceived in the world, it's what you do. Um, to show out, right? It's how people think of you and your status, right? And so with it being in your 12th, sorry, in your 10th house, this is a very unique opportunity, thing, or way that you are being perceived, but it's unique, right? And I feel like so here's what I'm getting. I feel like maybe you were misperceived, and then maybe this time, yeah, because of that Mercury retrograde, I feel like maybe you were misperceived, or maybe like I almost feel like for some of y'all, you were stuck in what you thought you should do about something having to do with work or your status or your reputation or whatever, and it's coming back around because you kind of mishandled it, not on purpose, but it was because you were being stubborn. That's kind of how I feel. Whatever this is, it's coming back around for you to get the accolades. Maybe it was a missed opportunity about getting noticed. Maybe you were stuck about, I'm not going to have people taking advantage of me. And so you didn't do it, but you are sad that you said no to the thing, right? So that has to do, there's something very unique in the way that you are needing to be perceived that you are going to have to let go of to be able to have that come through. Does that make sense? So that's for Taurus. Now for Gemini, this is in your ninth house, right? This is your belief system. This is higher knowledge. This is, you can think of it as Mercury's bigger cousin, right? And so this is which is Sagittarius, opposite of you. So this being in your ninth house, um, yeah. Yeah, this being in your ninth house means that your third house is activated with that Mercury um and Sun, and the Aquarius is your ninth house. So there is so I feel like you're finally going to see that maybe you had a different understanding. I feel like you misinterpreted something, or you blew it up bigger than it needed to be. Yeah, with either the people around you, your neighbors, your siblings. Like there's some clarity that's going to come. But for you guys, I feel like it was a such a unique situation, such a different situation. Like it could be if it was your sibling, then they never acted that way. And then you believe that they did act that way because you thought you saw something and you didn't really see it. You saw it wrong. You misinterpreted it. That's what I feel like with that Mercury retrograde. Um, unless you were born in a retrograde. Okay? I'm going to do a video about retrogrades and what they mean in your chart. Um, Yeah, I feel like you're going to come to this deeper finally. I'm just seeing that one situation for some of you, but for others, I see like this. You get this, finally, you get this bigger understanding. I think I told you the other night, I feel like y'all are acting like an Aquarius a little bit, where you were acting fixed. You were acting like, you've been acting like, I'm not going to change my mind because I've been run over so many times. Like you're being fixed for a different reason than Aquarius would be, right? Or Scorpio or Leo, right? Um, because when you once you set your mind to something, you don't change. You don't like to change it because you've thought about all sides. So when you come to that conclusion, you don't feel like you need to go back in and look at the conclusion again, right? And so as a Gemini, I feel like you calculated incorrectly. That's what I feel like. I feel like, and I feel like with this full moon, you'll finally let go of that ego being out of balance, finally let go of that perception, finally understand and process higher knowledge, which for some of you, you could have been really studying, researching, really delving into something. And for some of you, I think that's going away. I think you're finished or almost finished. And so a new phase is coming. Um, but with that Mercury retrograde, if that's the case, you'll get an opportunity again. That will come around again. Okay? That makes sense to you guys? So, that's for Gemini. For Cancer, this is happening in your eighth house. So this has to do with contracts. Contracts with other people, inheritances. Um, I always like to explain it this way. The seventh house is where your marriage is, where your partnerships are, and the eighth house is once you've married. Like the seventh house is where you meet them, you develop that, and the eighth house is where you actually sign the contract. You make the marriage, right? You sign the contract to sign the inheritance to get the inheritance. Sign for a loan. Sign like whatever these contracts are, right? So that is happening in your eighth house. Uh, there is a very unique, different. For you guys, I want to say it's like out of the box. It hasn't happened to you before in this way. Um, like I almost feel if some of y'all are being proposed to, it's gonna be in a very quirky, weird way. You're gonna love it, but it's gonna be in a very different way, right? Um, and some of you might like it, some of you might not, because I'm looking at that Sun and Mercury, and I'm feeling through you guys like that's not what I thought I was gonna get. Some of y'all are disappointed. Um, but you're disappointed because you haven't said what you needed to say. So you're getting an opportunity again. Now, my advice is if the opportunity happens for you to say something that you need to say, and it could be that it's very different than what you're used to saying to people or the way that you handle people, you better say this because this is like the second opportunity of this. And you have to let go of the fear. You have to let go of what you once thought was proper. I hope that makes sense. Um, and then uh, Leo, this is happening. We've already talked about Leo, and then Virgo. Um, yeah, Virgo. Ooh. This is happening in your sixth house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is happening in your sixth house, Virgo. So I know you guys have Venus there in your house right now, Virgos. Um, if you look right here. So Venus is in your house right now. Venus is being very critical. Venus is planning stuff out. But Venus is also gifting you some stuff or about to gift you some stuff. Because I always say the gifts come after 23 degrees, 22, 23. Um, but this full moon at 27 degrees is really important because there's something that you have to let go of. I feel like some of you overplayed it. I feel like some of you in your life, in your everyday life, with your surroundings, your neighbors, your work, your coworkers, whatever, your schedule, maybe even the way that you're working out because it's health and well. I think you overplayed. I think you thought you could do it, whatever this is, and you realize that you put too much on your plate. So, um, I think you do find a solution, some of you. If it's a solution, it's going to be a very weird one. Like maybe you actually ask for some help and somebody comes to help you. Or maybe the person that you thought was going to disappoint you didn't disappoint you. It's something strange. It's something quirky. It's something weird. It's not like normal. Yeah, even though some of y'all can manipulate the situation, I feel like that's not going to go well because it's going to be strange. It's going to be different. The outcome's going to be different, right? So you're letting go of of the way that you're doing things. It could be the way you can't work out anymore. Could be you're going, you're going to change your diet. Could be um mm, could be your job. Could be your job changes schedules. Maybe you thought you were going to be able to do it and you can't do it. Something's going to change. Something's going to be let go of. Okay. Now, the reason I cautioned you about the manipulation is because Leo's in your 12th house, Virgo. So what you think you're seeing, you're not going to see it clearly. I think I said that for everybody just when I was talking about the other planets the other day. But right now, when I'm looking at the chart and looking at your Virgo right here, this is your 12th house. So the sun is not, you're not seeing the sun clearly. You're not seeing whatever this is clearly. Um, and you're not processing it clearly either. You got to use your other senses. Yeah. Something does need to be let go of. You cannot overplay this. I think you overplayed this, whatever this is. And then Libra. So Libra, this is going to be in your 5th house. So this has to do with I think it's work time for you guys and not party time and not relaxing time. I think it's time to let go of, because that's your 5th and your 10th. I feel like work comes in. I feel like the relaxation is over. Yeah, I'm sorry, Libra, but that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like, and I'm also feeling like if you created something, if you started working on something, if you started building something, I feel like you're going to pivot in a way and almost like trim the fat, and it's going to be much better for you. So, yeah, like I feel like you were doing it the long, hard way, and you're going to figure out a way um, to streamline it, and it's going to work out so much better for you. Um, yeah, you've got, so whoever, if y'all are Libra, y'all need to go watch my Pluto series if you're a Libra ascending, because Pluto's going to be in your house for 20 years, in that 5th house for 20 years, messing with you. So if I were you, I would go check my videos out to see exactly how that could happen or what could happen. And then for Scorpio, who's been really quiet lately, I think they've been going really deep actually, because Pluto's so prominent right now, that they're kind of feeling everything and they don't know which way to go yet. They haven't made up their mind. So, you guys, Scorpio, it's going to be in your 4th house. So, there is something about the way that you perceived or the way that you understood where you came from, why your belief systems were the way that they are. Uh, Not having to believe in anything, but like, oh, this is why I do it this way because my family's done it this way, or because my lineage has done it this way, or because my parents do it this way, right? This is your fourth house. So there's something, I feel like maybe some of you got obsessed about finding out about exactly how this came about, where you were rooted from. Some of you may be looking for, because you're adopted parents. That's strange because that hardly ever comes up for me. But I feel like some of you are going to come to the understanding of you're not like them and you're letting that perception go. Um, there's something, hmm, yeah, I almost feel like for some of you, you're so overworked and you're so over it. But maybe the way that people saw you, maybe the way that people engaged with you, you realized you had, like, you didn't like it, and you realized that some of it had to do with the way that you were actually portraying yourself, right? And so I feel like there's a part of you that's let go. This is not for all of you, but I feel like there's a part of you that you decide, I don't really need to be that way anymore. I don't really need to do that anymore. I don't really need to be the savior for everybody because I don't want to be perceived in that way anymore. I am coming into my own and I'm understanding my power, which is Pluto, which is you. And I want to be understood in a different way. But to do that, and I want to be understood, I want to, even if I'm quirky and unique and my perspective is very strange, I don't care anymore. I know I'm no longer afraid. There's no fear there anymore. That's for Scorpio. So that's just a little bit. I was getting a lot from all of you, but I was trying to cut it down because we have so much. Um, yeah, hi Lorna. So let's see, who else did we do? Sagittarius, my Saggies. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a Sagittarius moon, and I was born on a full moon, so I'm a Gemini sun, and my ascending is Aquarius. Um, so Sagittarius, this is going to be happening in your third house. Okay. So, and that's actually the opposite of your normal original house, right? So, your third house has to do with um, letting go. So, I feel like you got to let go of this idea. I feel like you got to let go of this busy work. I feel like you got to, um, some of you, it is your neighbors. Some of you, it is your siblings. Some of you, yeah. It's your third house. So, how come I'm seeing somebody writing? Like if you're writing a book, and this is your third house, maybe you're letting go of some parts of it and coming to an understanding. And I almost feel like whatever this was, you were blocked. And this is going to come through for you. Yeah. I feel like you just need to let go. Well, I was about to say another word, but I think you need to let go. Like, relax. Like, start focusing on you, but relax. This is weird because you're so adventurous and you'll go out and you'll do a thousand things and you love them all and you have the energy for it all. But I feel like you need to be here instead of out there. And I feel like in the third house, because you process through Mercury, third house, I feel like you are coming to that understanding of how you are just as good as everyone else, and there are things that you want to do in your present instead of looking for adventure out there. Does that make sense to you guys? I'm channeling right now. But I feel like whatever this thing is, it's very unique and it's very strange and it's very different than what you're used to doing. Yeah. And some of it has to do with the way you're doing your job or the way you're doing your career or the way that people are going to see you. Okay? This has happened before. When I'm looking at this, because of Mercury retrograde, it's like you almost got this understanding and you tried really hard to like really understand this and you were listening. I don't know what this is, but whatever this is, you were listening to it like other people and you were listening to their ideas and their perception and you were trying to understand a different way and you couldn't get it because you were too stubborn. But it looks like that's going to be illuminated. And I feel like you finally let go of that perception of you. They finally let go of that person. But this isn't like a relationship. This is like someone you know. Okay? Like maybe they were trying to be a friend and you realize they're not really being a friend. Yeah, I feel like there's something that you let go of that propels you forward. Does that make sense? Yeah. And last but not least, Capricorn. Now, Capricorn, this is going to be in your second house. So, I feel like at the 27 degrees, this has to do with you understanding. And because we're at the end of Pluto and Pluto's about to go back into your sign on September 2nd, and we'll be there until November, this is like the last of it. This is like the understanding. This is like the last structure. This is like the last thing. It's it's a breakthrough for you guys with self-worth. So a lot of you it has to do with self-worth. A lot of you it has to do with um, you understanding a different. So I feel like maybe a lot of Capricorns have a financial understanding and realizing that they've put too much into one system instead of sort of spreading their portfolio out or spreading to different systems, if that makes sense. That's what I'm getting. Um, yeah, because it's your second. I feel like your belief changes about yourself. I feel like your understanding changes about yourself. I feel like some of your possessions change. Um, yeah. Now, all of that was just the full moon in Aquarius. On the same day, not only are you going to have all of you going to have these perceptions and these identity changes, this way of looking at things, this way of feeling, dealing with people and dealing with work and dealing with whatever, family. That's just part of it. The next thing that we have on the 19th are these T-squares, okay? So, and again, thank you for the hearts. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you guys for watching the videos over and over again to get me to the 3,000. So, I love you, love you, love you. I will see you soon. Bye.